Naito Apartments is a great indie game that lets you explore an apparently haunted apartment building and uncover what's really going on there. It also comes with 4 different endings, depending on how many pieces of information you pick up along the way. So this week, we're going to take a look at what they are and how to get them. The first and by far easiest ending to get can be obtained by doing nothing. If you choose not to explore at all, and simply return to your apartment and end each day without talking to anyone, you'll unlock this rather horrifying ending. When Honoka wakes up on the 5th day, the world is creepy and corrupted. Literally. Her illustration on screen is warped and she mutters about how tired she is over and over. But still, she has to continue her investigations. Yet, when you move to a new screen, the text corrupts as well, spouting garbled nonsense. You can't do much of anything, but once you check the landlord's dead body, Honoka cheerfully says, "Hello, nice weather again today, isn't it?" She asks what happened at these apartments and whether it was suicide, an accident, death by illness, or perhaps murder. Eh? All of the above? I see. She cackles and tells the dead landlord that, thanks to this, she'll be able to write a fantastic article now. An apartment where people die simply by living there. An apartment where everyone goes mad. It's amazing. The material is beyond compare. She rants about how she has to write this article and get everyone to read it. Of course, she'll write about the landlord too, and then breaks out into more cackling before it ends. If you watch the Story Explained video, then you'll know that the Naito apartments attract curious people because they'll then investigate the strange happenings going on there and then spread that information to further people, much like a never-ending virus that brings more and more people into its clutches. That's what we see happening here, as Honoka's apartment has driven her mad. And perhaps because she never spoke to anyone, she never found out what was going on and how dangerous the apartments really are. Now she's about to tell the entire world. Whoops. The next ending can be obtained by gathering up to 3 pieces of information. Honoka wakes up feeling extremely tired with no motivation to do anything. She hasn't even been going to work lately either. Everyone has been sending her messages, but she can't be bothered to deal with that either. All the research she's done so far is now going to waste because she just can't be bothered to do anything. Her head feels light, while her chest feels heavy. Even breathing itself feels disagreeable these days. Is this some spiritual damage done by the apartment? Who cares? All that ghostly nonsense is just entertainment, anyway. Ghosts don't exist. She decides to step out for some fresh air, seeing as she hasn't been outside for several days, and that reminds her that this apartment building has rooftop access. Well, might as well take advantage of it and get a nice breeze from up there. She heads outside and up to the old stairs and finds that, luckily, the door leading to the roof isn't locked. There, she finds a beautiful sunset, and the sight of the red sky, like blood, soothes her soul. The feeling of it sets something alight in her, making her want to fly and feel the freedom that brings. Maybe that'll get rid of the heavy feeling that has settled over her. She steps over the edge and someone calls for help, informing the authorities that a woman has died at the Naito apartments. No, he's not joking. Please come right away. He wonders why people are so quick to take their own lives here, and wishes they'd think about his feelings as the landlord a little before taking such drastic measures. This ending ties into the story about people often climbing onto the rooftop of the Naito apartments and then jumping off. They don't always realize what they're doing, and it's for this reason that the landlord keeps the door to the roof locked. Of course, considering the haunted nature of the apartments, that clearly doesn't mean that it always stays locked though. Whoops. The next ending is obtained by getting 4 to 6 pieces of information. Honoka finishes up her article and wonders if everything she heard was real or not. It seems hard to believe, but she convinces herself that the supernatural is just fiction, and what she's heard up until now must be a mistake. Right as she's about to reply to her editor, the doorbell rings. Who could it be? She opens the door, but nobody is there. Weird. Was someone just messing with her? She wishes they wouldn't. She sits down to reply to her editor again, when she hears laughter. An arm suddenly grabs her from behind and... This ending ties in directly to the story of the Gyaku Onna, or reverse woman, that you can get from the man in the convenience store. He warns Honoka that if someone rings her doorbell at night, she shouldn't answer it, because it'll be her. But she doesn't believe in the supernatural, so she doesn't take his advice seriously, thus paying for it with her life. The final ending is obtained by gathering all 7 pieces of information. I went into depth on this one in the Story Explained video, but to quickly sum it up again, Honoka wakes up on the 5th day to find herself in a strange, corrupted world, much like the first ending, only this time she still has her wits about her. She finds the door to the shed is now unlocked, and it leads her to what looks like a shrine where some terrible murders have taken place. The landlord is there, and Honoka demands that he send her back to the real world. He can't do that, and he even proclaims himself innocent, claiming that he wasn't the landowner all those hundreds of years ago who murdered the Shinto priest and wife, but, like her, he was simply caught up in all this. So then, why does he look so much like the original landowner then? Either way, it's not the apartments that are cursed, it's the very land itself, and it summons curious people to it, so they'll start digging, and then spread stories like urban legends, alerting more and more people to the fact that the Naito apartments exist. Why? To bring in even more people, of course, and the land consumes those souls and spits them out again like candy, all that lingering anger, resentment, and regret, building into a massive grudge that never dissipates. Curiosity killed the cat, as they say, and Honoka was doomed from the moment she took an interest in the apartments. Once she moved in, nothing would save her from the terrible fate that awaited her. And now, she too has been consumed by the land. She'll add to its mythos, becoming yet another story for people to talk about when they refer to those creepy, terrifying apartments. This one ends with yet another person moving into Honoka's apartment for much the same reasons as her, and fades out as this new resident decides it's time to go and track some stories down, once again perpetuating the cycle and ensuring his doom as well. And those are the 4 different endings you can find in Naito Apartments. What did you guys think of this one? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.